Liquor Talk, another new episode got for you today starts right now. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Liquor Talk podcast. Shout out to everybody that's joining us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and watching this on YouTube, and also watching this on TikTok. Shout out to everybody that's joined us, and shout out to everybody that's found us through the MBG Podcast Network or the Podmatch Podcast Network. Joining me today is an entrepreneur from the Bay Area, but she lives in the ATL. That's a damn culture shock right there. But Taylor, welcome to Liquor Talk. How you doing tonight?
Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for wanting to collaborate, unlike some other people, you know. But it is what it is.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So tell us a little about what you do. You know, you say you're an entrepreneur and you got multiple business ventures. Tell us a little about yourself.
Yes, how you doing? So, I have been kind of on an entrepreneurship journey ever since I graduated from college. I finished up at Sac State in 2020, and that's when I opened up my hair shop, and I was selling bundles, doing the e-commerce thing online, and I ended up meeting my fiance, and we decided that he's from New York and I'm from the Bay, and he hates California, so he was like, we have to have a middle ground because I didn't want to move to New York. So we both decided that we're going to move out to Atlanta. And so that's what we did. And we kind of came out here swinging, just heavy on the entrepreneurial grind. We bought a house in Stone Mountain and we Airbnb that house out. And then we also got a fleet of cars. We put on Turo. We had a fleet of about 5 cars. So doing the car rental thing. And so then I kind of wanted to switch gears. Fast forward in 2023, my sis from Cali, she actually put me onto this taxes game and was kind of like telling me about the industry and how it could be very recession proof. And that's kind of how I got my footing in it. And so that's where Atlanta Tax Break is become. So now we've been here doing taxes since 2023, and now tax season 2026 is kicking off, and we're doing great, helping servicing all of our clients better than ever. So yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So how did y'all stumble upon Atlanta of all places? Because I know you said you're from the Bay and your fiance is in New York. Why Atlanta and not like a place like Houston? I would think either Houston could be a middle ground, or who knows, like, or maybe Texas. Because I know a lot of people that if they want to leave the East, they usually head to Texas or some other parts, or hell, some of them even wind up in Florida.
Right. No, for sure. You know, the Brooklyn dudes taking over Atlanta. It's basically like a little New York out here. All the people from New York went to Atlanta. But besides that, we took a visit to Houston once before. I think it was like a random time when there was a snowstorm out there. We just didn't have a good experience, so we were like, nah, we're good off Houston. Atlanta just kind of caught our eye. I always wanted to go to the South. I had intentions on doing a master's program, and I was like, that would be kind of cool to do it at a HBCU. But I never wanted to go back after everything that happened, COVID. I didn't even get to walk the stage. But it's cool. I got my degree. I got out of there. But that's kind of why we landed on Atlanta. But I love it. I love it here. It's like a complete opposite from where I'm from.
Yeah, I feel that. And speaking of the Atlanta area, I do got to give a quick shout out to somebody. Happy birthday to my mama. She's holding it down in Atlanta right now. Happy birthday, Mom. I know you had an unfortunate start to the year. I'm happy for you. I'm not going to spill all the details because one thing I've learned in the podcast game is when you speak up for a family member, that family member tends to get mad at you about it because they're going to feel like you're airing out their dirty laundry. But nevertheless, happy birthday to my mom, you know, so I hope you celebrate your years, another year of life, more power, and I hope you get to reclaim your time now that you done cut the dead weight. So happy birthday to my mom. Had to get that thought out there. Yes. And Mom, I told Mom, if I ever come to Atlanta, I'm definitely flying because listen, them Georgia cops love them Florida tags. Oh my goodness. No matter what part of Florida, almost all my homies that go to Atlanta, they always come back a ticket from Georgia. I'm like, the hell were you doing?
No, they just be bored out here. I could believe it. Definitely fly in.
Yes, I'm definitely, even though Atlanta airport is busy as hell, I'm still going to fly. I'd rather fly in and deal with that than to drive through Georgia.
Heck no. And that's one thing about me, actually. You know, I never really left Atlanta. Like, I want to do a road trip. I want to go to Tennessee. We got Nashville right here. We got Orlando, Florida right there. I've gone to Alabama, but like you said, I just be iffy on the roadways. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if it just depends on which other you or your husband want to take the ticket, because them Georgia cops they love fucking with people.
Yeah.
My recommendations is that you fly, because Orlando traffic is crazy. By the way,
Okay.
whether you come to Orlando, whether you go to Tampa, or you go to Miami, hell, even if you go to Jacksonville,
Tennessee.
like traffic is crazy everywhere.
Everywhere it's congested for some reason, and when you finally get through it, you be like, "What was everybody even looking at?" There's nothing even happening. I don't know. It blows me.
It be like that. It definitely be like that. So what made you ultimately choose taxes as your lane? I know you said your friend was telling you about it. So what made you choose to pursue tax business?
Well, honestly, the more I got learning about the industry, the more it was making me want to educate my community, because I feel like there's so many things that we're not necessarily taught about or exposed to growing up when it comes to taxes. Like it often has like a real stressful stigma around it. Nobody wants to talk about it. It's a taboo subject. So just wanting to enlighten those around me and letting them know, like, hey, you know that you could be doing this so you can get this back, or you know, there's things that you can do throughout the year so that you're not having to owe. It definitely, takes a burden off of us. So that's one of the things that made me want to do.
Understood, understood. So, what are some things that we could be doing now to start preparing? Because one of my jobs sent me a W-2, and I'm like, God damn, can I at least get through football season, the playoffs, before y'all start talking about
I
W-2s?
know.
I'm talking, this was the 8th day of
Wow.
2026, and here's the W-2. I'm like, God damn, that's
And that's
fast.
crazy because on the opposite end of the spectrum, there's people who are like, "Where's my W two at?" They're like fiending to get it. So it's funny to hear you say like, "Damn, I got mine fast," because everybody else is still waiting on theirs. But honestly, the first
Mm,
step that you're going to be wanting to do is just making sure you get all your W twos. If you did work more than one job, and have everything together compiled at one time, and if you do have any dependents that you're claiming, you want to make sure that you have all the daycare expenses and everything, their documentation together as well. And then you just going to want to fill out the intake form at atlantaxbreak.com, and your tax preparer is going to take care of the rest. And we'll give you a free tax estimate. It's that simple. You just provide your documentation, and we'll get it filed for you and make sure you get your maximum refund.
of course, of course. So, what is a biggest tax lie that most entrepreneurs or even people believe?
Biggest tax lie. Like, okay, something that um, people thinking that they're entitled to a refund even though they didn't work all year. That's a lie. I don't know why there's people out there who believe that
Wait, what?
without working
That's
they can get a
crazy.
refund because they have dependents. And I'm just like, that's not how that works. So I would say that's the biggest myth. Like,
Yeah, that's crazy. So now with entrepreneurship, so why do so many entrepreneurs like to underreport their income?
honestly, I don't know any entrepreneurs that underreport. They probably overreport it. And so that well, actually, I apologize. They overreport their expenses to balance out their income. So they're making sure that their documents having good bookkeeping throughout the year to make sure that they balance it back out at the end, because you don't want to like underreport, because what if you're trying to buy a house? There's certain things that if you have goals that you're trying to reach, you have to have certain tax strategies. So that's kind of why it's important to get with a good prepared tax professional to assist you, because like if you want to underreport, then you're not going to really be able to make no moves when you're ready.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So now how is tax ignorance keeping people that like look like me and you broke?
How is it keeping us okay, our community? Gosh, that's let me think about that. I think a big thing is people thinking that they can do unethical things on their return and try to inflate and just do just bad business, and thinking that it's not going to come back to haunt them, and like they have to not end up repaying it. People just wanting quick money too quickly and not just realizing for what it is. I don't know why you want to play with Uncle Sam. Um, and I would say another one is going exempt on their tax at their job on their W-4. They go exempt all year, and it just sets you up kind of for failure, because then you're going to end up owing, and then you have penalties, and you have to make arrangements, when it's just like, even if you do go exempt for 3 months out the year, switch it back for the last 9 months, or keep a balance on it so you're not really racking up that tax liability.
Mm. That's real. Now, going over to the business side, the business owner side, the entrepreneur side, what are some things business owners can actually write off that they may have not even known about?
Okay, let me see. They could write off obviously their workspace, their whatever office that they're at, um, the Wi-Fi, any supplies that they may have. Um, I guess if we can niche down, so I can be a little bit more specific. So like a hairstylist, like any hair products that they had to purchase, or um, any classes that they may took to enhance their skills. All those things are things that can be claimed as expenses.
Mm, that's real. That's real. So I hope y'all been keeping track of y'all bookkeeping. So what are some bookkeeping apps that people can use? That way they can, because we're in the technology era, and there's got to be some kind of technology that can track things for you as you
For
go.
sure. The number one OG I always recommend is QuickBooks. They're really good for beginners. Square, a lot of people who use Square to take payment processing, they don't know that they also have a bookkeeping side. So it just makes sense. Um, there's just tons. All you have to do is go on your app store, but those are just to name a few. Another one could be Vagro Pro. All different just apps
Mm,
that you can find on the app store, and just see what works best for you. Honeybook, that's another good one. That's one I like, because it has so many different features in one. So yeah, those are some of you I would recommend.
Now, speaking of like write-offs and stuff, so what's one write-off that you see that if they put it down that they're gonna get an audit from the IRS?
For sure, mileage, gas, automatic.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah.
Really? Even if you have the apps that track how many miles you're
It
driving?
has to make sense. Are you a CDL driver? Are you a realtor? What's your profession? Why are you trying to get a field credit? It has to make sense to the IRS. You have to
Mm.
paint the picture correctly. Otherwise, it's going to be a red flag to them. They have certain job description codes that they're like, okay, yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So I guess you can't just be an entrepreneur and be like, I'm driving for my business.
Why would you do that? I mean, if you're a realtor, yeah, that makes sense. But no, just like me, a tax office person, because where am I really driving to that much before it
Mm.
gets like out of personal? So yeah, they make it make sense. That otherwise, you're gonna get audited, and if you have the proof to show that it was for your business, okay. But if not, then yeah.
Probably gonna have them fines and stuff. So, speaking of audits, how often do people? How have you seen that people got audited?
As far as me, I haven't had any audits as the time I've been in business since 2023. My peers, is that what you mean? That are also in the industry?
Hmm. Whether it's you, your peers, or people worked with, how many times have they come back and it's like the government like we need to audit this?
Honestly, my mentor, she's never been audited. The person that I was learned everything from, I honestly don't know anyone personally, but you see it online all the time when people come and they get these
Hmm.
letters, and they talking about their clients got the letters because they were ignoring their clients, and it just blows back up in their face. But I don't know anyone personally, actually. But yeah, I hear about it online all the
Mm.
time. But I don't want to get
Well,
that, and
that's
that's why I'm heavily on my due diligence. I need to take my notes. I need to make sure every single thing that you presented to me, it has to make sense as to why I gave you this credit. Like, I'm thorough on it, because like it's a heavy fine for me. I'm responsible for everybody in my tax office. We're making sure we have everything to back up and support this, because it's serious.
That's what's up. Yeah, it is serious, and you can get jail time. You could get heavy fines and all of that. You don't need that to it'll definitely set you back. So, on another side, which is worse, filing late or not filing at all when it comes to taxes?
Not filing at all.
Mm.
If you file late,
Now, why you say?
you can get an extension.
Yeah, yeah, I know about the extensions, but what happens if you just don't file at all? Do they come after you still?
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
We don't know,
I
y'all.
don't know.
If any,
I have
if anybody
I haven't
listening,
filed
y'all.
in multiple years, but all you have to do is get in contact with the IRS, and you just say, "Hey, I haven't filed. Like, what do I need to pick up from?" And if you truly weren't working, didn't have a reason to file. If you don't meet the income threshold to file, there's a lot of factors. It's a lot of factors in it. So if that person wasn't working and they didn't file, it's not bad. But if they were working, then yeah, they're probably gonna be looking on you. They're gonna be on you, like, They're gonna probably look in a garnish. That's probably
Yeah,
what's gonna
that's not. Yeah, that's not what we need. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Liquor Talk. The more you drink, the better we sound. Go ahead and get that drinks if you haven't done so already. All right,
happen.
Taylor, of the businesses you've started, which one have you enjoyed the most? Because I know you said you did the rental car business, you had the properties, and now you're doing the taxes. Which one? And then you had the hair business. Which one has brought you the most joy?
The most joy, I would say, the car rental business, because I didn't know how much I was interested in cars until I started deep diving into it and everything and just learning more about it. Um, yeah, I would definitely say that. Even though that's the one that causes me the most stress and the most grief, but I still love that one the most. It's fun riding around in a different car all the time.
Yeah, it is, but I also see I've seen the videos of people on Turo who have their Turos and stuff, and they just don't be taking care of them cars. They cause you present the car beautiful, then you get it all
They
dirty
want to
and
scratch
stuff, and
your
I'm like,
rims. They want to come getting the tires messed up, burn popping a tire because they doing burnouts. Because we had the Corvette, we had the 2019 Stingray Corvette. They was loving that
ooh,
one, loving it, and just all type of stuff. Like people just that act like they never had nothing. And me, got off of Turo and I actually started doing private rentals. So even when I went to the private side, it was just like, ugh, these people are just they don't care. Because Turo doesn't thoroughly check anyway. I feel like they use the same software that I use to check IDs because they let anybody through on Turo.
yeah, they do. I definitely noticed that with Turo. Now, personally, I prefer going to Enterprise, because Enterprise, you can for sure they'll look out for
For sure.
you. But sometimes on Turo, it's like they be jacking them prices up for no reason. I'm like, what?
And that's one thing that I realized too. It was like I had to realize who was my target audience because, like you said, maybe mainly people who are traveling or coming into town. Yeah, they'll use Turo, or they might just go to enterprise. But I'm shifting gears this year into more gig drivers because those are people who are local who make their money in the car. They're going to take care of the car. They're going to make sure that they bring it back, or they're going to make sure they pay on time because that's how they make their money. Like it's just like less liability with this niche. So that's what I'm completely switching gears into because I just don't have time for all the shenanigans.
Oh, I definitely understand because you definitely you said it earlier. You get some people that didn't have nothing nice, and or you get one of these young kids that get it and they just go crazy with it. So I totally understand that. So is there an app you use, or you just like privately rent it out?
Yeah, just privately rented out by advertising online and having a Google profile, Google business profile that gets you so many calls. I recommend that to anybody who starts business. Make sure your page is on Google Business because you're gonna get calls people when they're looking in your area for something.
Wow, that's definitely interesting to look into. So, if someone wanted to get started with like renting out cars, what's something you would tell them?
Um, I would tell them that they need to make sure they have no emotional attachment to these vehicles. Emotional
Mm,
attachment. And I would say that you might want to get you a solid partner because it's very helpful to have somebody when you're first starting, when you're dropping off the cars, picking up the cars, and all that good stuff. So make sure you have a good solid partner that you can rely on when you're doing this. Because I mean, you could do it by yourself, but you're gonna be cutting into your profits, Uber and back, or unless you get like an electric scooter or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but yeah.
understood. You definitely need something like that. Now, where are you going to acquire these cars? Are you going to auction lots, or how are you guys acquiring cars in order to rent them out?
Yeah. So my first batch of cars, I acquired them through financing it. And so I just was a PG to my business and I just got a business auto loan and pulled them out that way. But now I'm
Mm,
getting my dealer license so that I can actually go to the auctions and get some cash cars. And then I was also looking into Facebook Marketplace, but I got to just have my mechanic with me. Just looking at all these cash car options in my local area and such. Um, because it just is so I can just make the money back quicker and get more cars.
of course, yeah. You definitely need to make the money back quicker somehow. So, when being an entrepreneur, how do you build trust with clients?
I would say having great communication. Like nobody wants to be left on red. Nobody wants to be having lagging conversations. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. Make sure you follow up. Um, but yes, just making sure that person feels seen. You can't overlook anybody. having good communication.
Yeah, you definitely need to have good communication. And because I know from the content creation side of things, if you don't have good communication, then we're not collaborating straight up. Like,
Yes, exactly.
because I've been doing this for a long time as well. And I've known people that say, hey, I want to do the podcast. Hey, I want to be a part of it. But when you give them time, where they at? You don't hear from them.
No, definitely, and that's why I was like, I have to make sure I'm on point for this because I missed you last week. I know we had like we could have almost got in last week, but it all worked out for tonight anyway. Yeah, like if I give my
Hey,
word and I say I want to do something, I'm not gonna waste your time.
of course, I'm that same way too. Like, hey, you show up for me, I show up for you. That's how it should be. So, so we're having multiple businesses. Do you ever get any downtime? Because I know you have your time during tax season. So now once tax season over, you lean on to other businesses, right?
Yes, yes.
So, is there ever any kind of downtime you get?
Yes, when my cars are rented out long term, yes, and when the Airbnbs rented out long term, I don't really like short term rentals because it's just more turnover that I have to do, more back and forth. Um, but yeah, there's definitely downtime. That's why I'm blessed to be in the position I am and not having to take time away from my family. I have a little baby, Nazir. He'll be 3 next month. So I'm just thankful I got to stay home with him his first 3 years of life. I'm ready for him to go to school now. But yeah, I feel like I have a good balance with my fiance. We're like a good team, so I'm not doing it by myself, definitely.
Hey, that's wonderful. You're blessed to have all that because you get some partners that they're not even trying to contribute to the business, but they got their hand out. They want to brag to people, hey, my lady does this or my man does this, but they ain't doing shit for the business.
Exactly. Clock it. No, definitely. It's like it's a team effort and it just makes life so much easier. Um, and I'm just thankful because it's just us out here. Like I said, we moved out here to Atlanta by ourselves. So my family's in California. He has some family back in New York still. Um, so we are always with him all the time, and like it's just hard to balance everything, but we make it work. That's the best part about it. We make it work.
As long as y'all are out here making it work. Now, what does financial discipline look like you as an entrepreneur?
Financial discipline is making sure for me that
Yes,
all
yes, for you and
financial responsibility. Gosh, making sure everything is paid and everything, all the accounts are cleared and everything's just balancing my accounts and making sure everything is straight every at the top of every month and making sure we rocking and rolling. That's financial responsibility. Not
course,
operating
of
on
course.
the underneath, just trying to stay, making sure everything makes sense.
Uh, of course, that's definitely the goal. Make sure everything makes sense. Now, going back to taxes, what is something you feel like people should understand once we come up on this tax season? What's something people need to understand?
Mm, I would think that they need to understand how simple it is to file your taxes with Atlanta Tax Break by just going to atlantataxbreak.com and uploading your documents, and your tax professional will reach out to you and get your consultation going, file your return. Then you'll get it accepted by the IRS and get a date for your refund. It's that easy. We're taking the stress out of tax season. It's not that hard, y'all.
Yeah, she said she telling y'all to join her business and not go on TurboTax.
We don't speak of them.
Uh-oh. Then did something, y'all.
That's
So so what is one habit that you know of that from what you see when manage people's taxes that you can look at it, they're like, what's one habit they can do that would definitely improve their financial situation?
just better bookkeeping throughout the year, and making sure they're keeping a better track of their receipts and such. Like if they were paying for childcare from, maybe a family member, auntie, just doing a better job of what you're paying throughout the year so we can have make it easier to file you. Just, yeah, I would say better tracking bookkeeping up through the year.
Mm.
Yeah.
Of course. Now, for those people who aren't in the Atlanta area or who don't want to go online and contact you, how can they tell if their tax preparer is trash? Because I know some people that they will use their cousin or their homegirl or their homeboy instead of using a tax preparer, and sometimes they get off good. Hey, the IRS ain't coming for me. But then there's sometimes where Pookie or Ray Ray done messed up something, and now they're getting audited. Come on, you know this happens. You know this happens.
Yes. I'm sorry. What was the question? I lost it. I'm sorry. After you said Pookie and Ray.
The question overall is how can you tell if your tax preparer is trash? Is what I was trying to say.
Okay. You can tell your preparer's trash if one, they don't have a software. Me, I'm not asking you to log in TurboTax and I'm gonna do your taxes on that on your behalf. No, that's not a real pay preparer. If their name is not on the refund that says that they prepared it for you, they're not a real preparer. They don't have a P10. That's red flag number one. Red flag number two, if they keep talking about having, they can, okay, this is like before tax season even starts. So, like, you know how tax season starts on January 2nd and all self employed people can begin filing. Well, if they want to use your W-2s, or not your W-2s, your pay stubs. I apologize. Let me get to the point. Your pay stubs to give you an estimate or file your taxes, that's a red flag too. You shouldn't be using nobody's pay stubs to guesstimate how much they're going to get on their W-2. The numbers never match up and you're almost always going to get rejected as soon as the IRS opens. And let me give y'all one more red flag if your preparer is trash. I'm just trying to think. Let me think. I'm so sorry.
You good, you good, you good.
I'm trying to think of a good one. If your preparer has like a random homemade flyer that they're posting with their arms crossed like this, and they pasted themselves talking about taxes by TT, please run for the hills. Just red flag. Like, we need better marketing. Like, if we have to have certain levels to surf to take people serious. So yes, that's a red flag. If the flyer, they got the arms closed, taxes by TT, it's okay. We don't want that. We need a real seasoned professional.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, for fellow entrepreneurs, what is the worst tax mistake you've seen an entrepreneur make?
Mm, worst tax mistake is not not filing when they've earned past over 4,000 and they're collecting money online. If you're not even getting cash, if you're getting like online payments through like Stripe or Smart or Square and something like that, and you just go years without filing, thinking that that's gonna happen, and then you get hit with a big old tax bill because you just was being reckless.
Yeah, that sounds pretty reckless. Because of course, them big companies like Stripe and Square, they're gonna send your shit to the IRS. They're gonna because they're doing their books. So of course they're gonna report you. So it's like,
And even Cash
why
App
would
now.
people even?
Yes.
Oh, damn, Cash App too.
Yeah. I believe over $600 or something. That's what they were saying. If you earn that on your business, then you have to report that income off of Cash App too. They try to watch your pockets. So just making sure that you're being aware of that, because I've seen some people get tripped up.
Hmm. Wow. Yes. That's definitely the case, y'all. So
Yes.
there's a lot of ways that they could get tripped up. Meanwhile, America got all this damn debt to China and shit, you know.
Me started on it. Don't get me started. That part.
Man, they got all these debt to all these other damn countries, but they watching us like a damn hawk.
I know. Make it make sense. Make it make sense.
Yeah, make it make sense. And you know they coming from us colored folks, but yet they don't realize they're fucking over the people that put them in office, which wasn't us colored folk.
I don't know, but I do know off this one big beautiful bill, there was some good things to come out of it. We have no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, so that was kind of a win
Mm-hmm.
for some people. We'll be seeing that this tax season. There's a new box that we're gonna put in on the 1040. And then they also said $7,500 if you purchase the electric vehicle, you can get a credit for that back off the auto loan interest that you paid. And then the new child tax credit is now $2,200 per child. So they're trying to give you guys a little bit more kickback for throughout the year, all the inflation and such like that. So there is a couple things to look forward to this tax season in regards to that.
That's what's up. That's what's up, y'all. There's some good things that came out of it, but hey, it is what it is. You know, some good's better than no good, I guess.
Exactly.
But going back to you, the person. So your first business, what did it teach you about money?
High Voltage Hair Co., my first business. It taught me that I can get money off my own two hands. I was in my dorm room and I had a dream. I was doing hair. I was trapping out the dorm. I was doing my thing, and I was like super proud of myself because I was going to college full time, and I was just trying to support myself as best I could. Living off those refund checks only lasts for a couple months, for a couple weeks, till you gotta make some shake. So it just taught me that I can control my own, like, my trajectory. Like, I can step into it. Starting that business, it showed me a lot, honestly, and I'm so thankful for it. And I'm thankful for all the people that actually believed in me and even let me, do their hair. Because it's funny, my dad's a barber, and I never even would have thought that I would have been like a hairstylist. But it's just crazy how the universe works like that. It just ended up happening, and that's how I just launched into my entrepreneurial journey, was just doing hair, and then I ended up selling it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. You watching your dad cut hair and then never thinking nothing of it, and now you find yourself doing people hair. It's funny how the universe works like that. Like, whatever you're doing, it rubs off on you.
Facts. And it's crazy. All those years sitting in the shop on a Saturday, I would have never thought that I would willingly be doing that again. And here I was. But I see why he was doing it. Shoot. That's another recession
Hmm.
industry, doing hair, selling hair, just anything beauty in general. It's a $1 billion industry, and our community alone spends billions on it every year. I want to
Of course.
get a beauty supply so I can get a piece of that pie from the Asians, because they've got that market on lock. But it's just so competitive.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Even though I will say I've seen some black-owned businesses come up. I just need us to quit selling our damn businesses, but and then to these other companies, and then these other companies, you know what they do? They start jacking up. They start jacking our natural products with chemicals and stuff.
No, seriously. And also, I hate that when we have black owned beauty supplies, they have to charge even more because the
Yeah,
retailers are taxing them. So it's like they can't even compete, and people still end up going to the Asians. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
you good, you good. That's sad that they still end up going to the Asians. So going back to you, the person, when did you realize that you could just be more than just a hairstylist? When did you realize you could do more for yourself?
When we decided to move to Atlanta, and we were like, we got to hit the ground running and make sure that we're getting the money, not really spending it. Because Atlanta, if you know anything, that's the place people go to they just fucking off, where like every day's a turn,
I know.
every night a section, and we're like, we don't want to be a part of that. We want to be on the receiving end. So how could we do this? That's when the Airbnb boom was going on, and so that's when we decided to move out here and started that, and then we went on to start the car rental. So it kind of just went hand in hand, with the travel industry. So that's kind of where I got into it.
Wow. So, what was the hardest mindset shift you had to overcome?
Don't give up, because you're moving to a new city. You don't know anybody. You don't know anything. Like, when I first moved to Atlanta, I low key moved to the hood. I didn't even know where I was at, for real. Nobody told me about the east side of Atlanta. I did not know where I was moving to. I'm like, okay. Just kind of getting acclimated to, like you said, the big culture shock, honestly, because where I'm from, it's minor it's we're the minority. It's black, white, Filipino, Indian, everybody. But now here in Atlanta, it's just like all black people, and it's a good thing, and I love it. It's nice and it's refreshing, but also sometimes it's a bad thing, because it's like there's a level of service and standard that's not really met, and I feel like it's because it's black serving other black, and they feel like they can kind of downplay certain things, and I feel like there's certain aspects that would never be happening in California, like just even with the county, um, the Cobb County, and things such like that, like how they were ran during that time after COVID. They didn't open back up until like 2022, damn near, and everything in Atlanta was open during COVID, but the fucking county was closed. So it was just like certain shit like that, like people not really, working their hardest, and I'm like, this would never be acceptable in California. So just getting
Yeah,
those kind of shocks.
I definitely understand that. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is Liquor Talk. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now.
Yeah.
Um, Going back to business strategies now, how do you structure multiple businesses for tax efficiency? Because I know you're not the only one that has that dabble in multiple businesses. There's plenty of people I know of that have that they doing multiple things, and yours truly gonna join them real soon. So how do you manage that? How do you structure multiple businesses to keep everything running smoothly?
So me personally, you have to have a big calendar. I have to have a planner. I have to have everything written down so I know all the deadlines for each and every business, for all the overhead and everything like that. Also, it's a lot of delegation, being able to assign other tasks so that I can not have to worry about them, as far as just like keeping track of all the contracts or keeping track of just all the earnings and having that done, for me, by whether it be like a virtual assistant or my fiance, just so we can all come after all the it's passed through all the channels to come through and check everything off and make sure that everything's straight and ready to go. It's definitely a big balance. Um, and sometimes I feel overwhelmed for sure. And that's why this year I want to definitely work on just doing more delegation and trying to figure out how I can focus on the administrative side more and the less of um, day to day tasks, day to day work, and just being able to find people that I can trust underneath me to just come on my team that are going to be solid and, really help to make the brand bigger and better.
Mhm. Of course, of course. So when starting out, do you have when it comes to finances, do you have one bank account or multiple bank accounts?
Yeah, you have to have multiple for every business that you have. Yes, if you're starting out. Okay, so yes, sorry, like I'm going all over the
Yeah.
place. For if you're starting out and you have a business, yes, you're going to want to open a business bank account. Yes.
Yes, and now how do you guys pay yourselves? Is it some kind of draw? Like how do you guys pay yourselves?
So essentially, we're just employees, and we just get paid as employees per month from the business. So yeah, just like that through the LLC.
Wow, wow. So what is one financial skill people must master if they want to be an entrepreneur?
Time management. Um, okay, that's okay. I was gonna go on and on, but yeah, time management if you're
You
gonna
can
be
go
an entrepreneur.
ahead. You said time management is the one because I understand time management because you're only one person. Then once you start popping, then everybody's gonna want you and stuff.
Facts, exactly, and just making sure that you're not spreading yourself too thin, and like I said, that delegation is the main thing once you hit to that next level. But when you starting off, make sure you have good time management so you can hit your goals, because if you're not keeping track of your goals and what you're trying to get done every single week, you're not going to be making progress.
Mm, that's a fact. That's definitely a fact. Now, what is a business expense that people forget to leverage?
Owning a home, there's certain things that you can get, certain leverages, for like solar power, if you have solar power and things such like that. What's another one that a lot of people forget? People, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't know that if you went to college, you can get that 1098T form and use that. Even if you went to college for like 1 or 2 months, if you paid for any classes, you can get a credit for that as well. That's another big one.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's another big one. Now 2026 is just starting off. We're still filling out 2026. Now, there are people that are going to want to start a business this year. So, how can they prepare financially to start a business?
I would say investing in learning about that business, as far as whether it be, you don't necessarily have to invest in like classes, but doing your research, like books, YouTube, learning from other people, go to the competition, who you're inspired by, and see what they do, take notes, look at their journey. Just a heavily research. Also, you're going to want to be starting to build your business credit. So even though you're not necessarily ready to start, getting funding just yet, just building it up at least. So maybe you can, you know, get your LLC and get your DUNS number, and get a couple net 30s, and pay on those for a couple months or whatever, so that when you are ready to go make that move, whether it be go get a auto loan or whether it be go get some funding so you can go open up this shop, you're already been doing the groundwork now from now, so that whenever you're ready, because if you get a couple net 30s, it's no more than 30 to 60 bucks a month you're paying on. And by the time June, July comes, you'll have a great business credit score, and you can go run whatever play you want to do, whether it be car rentals, whether it be Airbnb, whether it be wanting to open your own tax office, which I can help you with too. I'm a tax service bureau. Whatever you want to do, you can run that play.
So you said it's good to like get like a net 30 and just pay on it, or is it some kind of trade line they have to pay on?
Essentially, yeah, like just building your business credit by getting a net 30. Yeah. They have a couple like what's the website called? Trade lines, not trade lines supply. Gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's one for like office supplies that you can get, and you only have to spend like a couple dollars a month, and they'll give you a credit line that says 3,000. And even if you just want to start off with one, and you get that one, and you're doing it for 6 months, and you're building up your business credit, so by the time you're ready to go make that play, you've already done the groundwork. You have that history. Even while you're still in the building
Mm.
stages, you're not having to work necessarily on it. You haven't pulled the trigger yet, but you're doing the footwork, because you can't just go up one day and just go try to do something. Like you have to, do the groundwork.
Yeah, you definitely got to do the groundwork. You definitely got to do the footwork. You definitely got to do the behind the scenes work before you can definitely get started. What is something business owners should stop tolerating and start demanding from, whether it's clients, whether it's family members, or whether it's friends? What's some things that they need to start demanding from those people? Because I know as a business owner or content creator, we tolerate a lot of shit.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. You know what we need to stop tolerating? It's not okay that you saw my post and you didn't like it. It's not okay that you saw my post and you didn't repost it. It's not just social media. It's free to like or repost my stuff. Why is it so hard for you to share? That's hater. You're a hater, and it's weird because there's people who I don't even know that support me way more than you, and it's free to support. It's free to take my business card if you see somebody and you can give it to them. So that's my biggest thing. I'm on y'all next. Whoever don't bring me 10 tax clients, don't expect nothing for Christmas. Like literally, that's the type of time I'm on. For real. It's the Grinch in this G.
Wow, I like that. I like that.
I'm playing
Shit, I
pretty
might need to tell my people, y'all need, hell yeah. Shit. I might need to tell
cool.
my people, hey, y'all need to be going out here, give me some subscribers or give me some, help me run these numbers up, you know?
Which we're talking
Shit.
about. You come on now. You got too many family members that could be plugging your shit every time. Everybody go, oh yeah, my cousin do a podcast. Tap into his stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like support is free. All you have to do is share. Somebody might on their page might be interested, and you being a hater by not reposting it, and they not seeing me. And all you got to do is repost it and share and like. Come on.
Yes. Hey, it's all y'all, it's all my family members. Listen, if my mama can do it, y'all can do it too, you know?
Feel me? Like what? That's the most
Yes.
free thing you can do to support.
Yes. Now, for people in relationships, now, should they be trying to get with somebody that has the same mindset as them, as the go getter? Because I know I said earlier, it says you could be with somebody who doesn't be have that same mindset, but how do you manage that within a relationship?
Yeah, it's definitely important. I mean, I would imagine that nobody wants to be with somebody that's like not on the same type of time as them. Like, you got to understand that we're entrepreneur babies. It's gonna be sometimes that we gonna have to get it out the mud, but we gonna make it shake. However it go, every single month we gonna make a way. So it's like you can't have somebody that's not strong enough, I guess, to say to deal with that if that's going to be your journey, I guess. But in general, like you want a solid partner because through the good, through the bad, you know what I'm saying. You don't want somebody that's just lackadaisical and just there, whether it be a man that's not on his stuff or a woman's, vice versa. And it goes for both genders. Like it's not okay to be a bum.
Yes, it's not okay to be a bum, and I'm glad you see that because it's like a lot of women, they're like, oh, they want their man to do this, they want their man to do that, but a lot of them don't even have the business mindset like you do, you know, or other women I've had on with business minded mindsets, you know.
100%. And I don't want to get it twisted because we are out there. There's definitely a lot of women that are out there good that's getting that bag right now. Like, man, these girls are on fire with all these different industries, and it's like you got to really be tapped in. That's why I want all the young girls to see like You don't have to just go jump to doing these things to degrade yourself. OnlyFans, all this. There's too many ways to get to a bag out here right now, and I feel like more people need to be on platforms that are talking about it, and so just so they can get that to see that it's something that's attainable for them. But even for the young men as well, young men, y'all don't have to be out here on these streets and hanging around all these guys all the time. And no, it's okay to be a kid. Go to prom. Go take your girlfriend to the movies. Enjoy being a kid. Don't want to grow up so fast. But when it is time to grow up, and make sure that you're taking care of your business and taking care of your family.
Yes, yes, of course, of course. You gotta take care of your family, gotta take care of yourself. And now I do have a relationship based question. Now, if you had the IRS audit, like say you like audit, what's some things that wouldn't pass if you were auditing a relationship? Because
Mhm.
we know there's some things you gotta audit when it comes to relationships. You know, it's like, and how would you go about doing that? Because I know there's gotta be some kind of checks and balances within a relationship.
Facts. Okay, so the auto relationship, like in the beginning, like beginning stages, or like as just in general, like as you're already together.
Um, We'll just say in the beginning stages for the single people out there who are
Okay,
still
yes, my
single.
single people. If that person doesn't, I feel like people make time for everything. So if you feel like a person is ignoring you or they're not getting back to you, they ghosting you, just, lead them where they stand. Don't try to overextend yourself. I feel like whenever you don't try, everything that you want is going to come to you. So if somebody's kind of like ghosting you, giving you the cold shoulder, that's like a audit, like ding, 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 red flag. Like you might not want to go down there. Um, and also just how people are with their family. Are they a family oriented person or not? Because if depending on your values, if that's something that you feel like you want to be a part of or not, just seeing that background of that person and who they truly are. Because when you're first getting to know somebody, you really don't truly know them, and I feel like their family could kind of paint that picture for you too. So that would be a good way to do an audit.
Yes, of course, of course. Now another thing for people, which I see a lot of debate about on social media, is let's say you're engaged with somebody.
Hmm.
Is it wise to get a prenup? Because I know there's some people that said I'm not marrying you without a prenup, or there's some people that saying no, I'm not going to sign that.
Definitely, if you're marrying and you got that bag, and like you want to protect it, like if you want to protect whatever you got before you were with that person, yeah, definitely get a prenup. But if y'all came up together and y'all started businesses together, I mean, why would that even be a question? We came from nothing together. But like if one person came with the bag, yeah, I could understand that, especially if like that person had kids or something, they want that to go to their kids. It's all very circumstantial, but I feel like people should just do what works best for them. And if your partner wants a prenup and you don't, then maybe that's not the person for you. I don't know. Or if you're not willing
Of,
to accept
of
it, you
course.
should be able to understand that.
Yeah, of course, you should definitely be able to understand that, and because it's tough out here. And then now a tough question: if love is a partnership, then why do so many people refuse financial transparency? Because I know you and your husband, y'all got y'all thing going and stuff, but why do other people in your same position refuse the transparency with when it comes to finances?
Mm, I feel like maybe some people are feeling like guarded up because I feel like we're in such a age where people will like try to embarrass you, or like if you like let your guard down or expose yourself or be anything type of vulnerable, you feel like maybe somebody will try to use it against you. So I feel like maybe people keep certain stuff guarded up because of that in the back of their mind. And I hate that because we're in that industry where people try, or not industry, but in that, time where people try to expose you and post screenshots of, oh, you broke ass nigga, like whatever they're going to say, you know what I'm saying? If you are transparent.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's why a lot of people probably don't disclose.
Of course, they don't disclose. They don't want to be embarrassed, and they just feel like that. Or if I expose it and you know what I have, now you're going to be asking for more, and it'll be apparent that hey, the only reason you're here is because you see I'm getting to the money,
That's
and you ain't here for me. Which you should be here for me, not the fact that I can get to the money.
forgot about that opposite end. Yes, facts. If you have, you might not want to expose all that off the rip because yeah, I've seen those videos with those girls who walk by and then when they see the guy in the Lambo, they be breaking their neck. That's how these girls really be, though.
That's true. That's so true. And it don't matter what city you in. It's definitely be like that. So,
That's crazy.
so is there any other? Yeah, it's so crazy. Is there any other business ventures you're looking to start up that we could look forward to within the next few years?
Yes, big things popping for surely. I definitely want to get into the sweet industry. I won't say too much, but getting a suite in a arena like a State Farm arena for me in Atlanta, or maybe the T-Mobile Stadium, buying some sweet seats and listing them online and reselling those seats and doing a play like that. Because I see that's very lucrative, and just expanding my car rental fleet, getting more cars, and opening a physical tax office here in Atlanta again. We had a tax office, but I actually closed it back in 2024. Getting back brick and mortar. So many things popping, so many things that I'm ready to get into and dive into and just go crazy.
Yeah. Now the one thing was sweet. Sell it. I hope you sell it to people who are actually fans of the team, not the opposing fans, because
Okay.
that shit is so annoying. Because like I live, like I said, I'm in Tampa, and I see a lot of fans, even fans of the even athletes on the team be complaining about, hey, these fans, they get their tickets and they're already reselling to fans of the opposing team. So that's my one thing. I would hope that you sell it to people who are actually showing up as a Hawks fan or a Falcons fan or a fan of whoever.
Okay, I'll take that into consideration, but I'm honestly going to the highest bidder. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
I understand. I definitely understand. So, what is your call to action for anybody out there who's listening to this who wants to get into starting a business, and also for the people who are looking to file their taxes soon? Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. Now, what now? The next episode after this one will be the men's round episode. So, what is a question you want to ask to the fellas? Because I usually have none but fellas on, and you know what? What's something you want to ask the fellas? Because I know you got a husband at home. You just ask him, but what's something you want to know from a group round table of men? Okay, I will ask the fellas that. Yes, I will ask the fellas that. Although one of the guys is married, I'll still ask the because I'll see what the other guys got to say. And I'll give my opinion on marriage as well. So I'll definitely get that question on for you. How can the people get in touch with you? Thank you for that. Thank you, Taylor, for blessing the liquor talk. Thank you for coming to have a drink with me and blessing the liquor talk with your presence. Thank you to the listeners out there for checking. Yes, and once again, happy birthday to my mom. Thank you to everybody for listening to this podcast, whether you listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or you watching this on YouTube, or you find the clips on TikTok. Thank you for tuning in, pouring up with us. Until the next episode, peace, ladies and gentlemen.